Eli Sports Bar and Grill here in Mason. I'm Greg Shoemaker for Tri-State Football, and joining us tonight on stage are the Sycamore Aviators, 9-2 last year. Head coach Scott Dattilo to my right. And Coach, well, let's just get right into it. Great year last year. Second straight year for you guys in the playoffs. You guys have sort of hit that. We're there at the GMC level. You played Colerain last year to a one-touchdown game. What's it going to take to get over to that next level for you guys and win some playoff games?
That's a great question. I think the answer is pretty simple for us, and that's we just got to be more consistent. I think we're blessed with enough talent. We're all talent to be a good football team. I think we have size and strength, good enough to be a good football team to compete against the schedule we play, but we have to do it more consistently, and we can't give up 42 points in a playoff game and expect to win, or 49 points for that matter, and we can't turn the ball over like we did against Colerain, and in those big games, if the consistency isn't there, then it's not going to correlate to victories, because they have as good players as we do, and the consistency is the equalizer.
This is your 11th year, I think, as a head coach. Am I correct?
Yeah, as a head coach.
As a head coach. You were at Fairfield for a while.
Correct.
But, as you built this program at Sycamore, and we talked a little bit about getting over that next level. And I don't want to put you on the spot a little bit, but I am going to put you on the spot. Coach Kastner over here at Mason, third year for him. He's in that sort of position where it's not rebuilding, it's reloading. You've been able to do that. What would you tell him about taking that program to the next level? Because you were there, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Well, first of all, Brian's done a great job anyway. We play them every year, and it's not a whole lot of fun, that Week 10 game, I know that. And to be honest, we all should be probably talking to Coach Everhart. He's got the state championship ring in here, when he was with Winwood. So I don't know the answer. He's got to coach his own team the way he knows how, and he does know how. And each year's different. It's not like we're drafting players, and it's not like we get to recruit players like colleges do. We get dealt a different hand every year, and it's a different combination of guys. Thinking back to the beginning with my first 3 years at Sycamore, we won 27 games, and the fourth year we won 2. And so each year is different, and this group of guys up here are going to have to write their own story for their year, and the years leading up to this really have no bearing on it.
Well, let's talk about the guys you have up here a little bit, and let's give them a mic, and then I'll come back to you at the end, because I want to talk to you about the Super 72, the division. So introduce everybody from right to left and from you, and then we'll go down here to the end and start with the offense, but go from there.
Okay, to my far right is Caden Richter. He plays defensive end. Tanashi Berry is a inside linebacker. He's already committed to attend Duke University next year. Greg Simpson, to your left, is our quarterback. Jake Barnhorst plays offensive tackle. He just received an offer from Columbia University the other week, so it's a great offer for him. Max Engelhardt plays offensive guard, and Solomon McMullen to the far left is our tailback.
And Solomon, we're going to start with you. This year, you're going to take the ball over from Marcus James a little bit. Now, I know Greg Simpson over here, he's our tristatefootball.com reigning Cincinnati Offensive Player of the Year. Greg Simpson right here to my left. Congratulations to him. As a junior, very big honor. But Solomon, now you got to take the ball over a little bit. How have you worked in the offseason to make yourself a better player to handle all those hits?
Just working hard in the weight room this summer, just conditioning, just being there with the team. That's basically it.
Looking at Marcus James before you, what'd you learn from some of those guys that were seniors, and how's that helped you so far this offseason?
Just to be committed to the team and just show leadership, and they'll lead. If you lead by example, everyone else will follow.
Sounds good. Let's go over here to Max Engelhardt. And Max, second team all GMC last year as a junior. Great offensive line in front of you going into next season. Let's talk a little bit about your offensive line. I mean, you've got great talent. You've got Solomon behind you. You've got Greg behind you. Talk about what it's like to block for those guys.
It's amazing. They hit the hole hard. They got a lot of heart. We work so hard in the offseason to protect them. Nobody touches Greg. That's what we always say. I mean, it all starts in the weight room. It all starts with leadership.
I want to ask you about one guy who's not here, Matt Severance, your center tonight. I want you to talk a little bit about him and what he means to the team as well.
I have a lot of confidence in Matt, actually. He's been working really hard over the offseason. It's hard to step up as a sophomore, I think, but he did a great job last season. Listen to the seniors, listen to everyone in the huddle. Good leader.
Sounds good. Bring it over here to Mr. Barnhorst. And Coach just told us you had an offer from Columbia. Talk about that. When you first get that in the mail, when you see that letter, what's it like for you and your parents? And you say, "Hey, I got a chance to play for some money off of college."
Well, it's exciting. It's exciting at first, and to know that you're going to play football for another 4 years. I love the game so much, and it's a nice chance to take my talents to the next level.
When we talk about Sycamore football and you say you love the game, there is something special about being at that place on a Friday night. It's pretty cool. One of the things I really love about the Sycamore is after a play, you can get up and watch the scoreboard and see the play right after you come back or when you're in the huddle. It is nowhere like that. I mean, Middletown's starting to do it a little bit, but when you see something like that, does that really help you during the middle of the game go, okay, I'm going back here and I'm looking at Greg running down the field or getting hit behind the line because maybe Mason Morgan didn't make a block a year ago. Oh, I don't want to lay him out, but...
Yeah, it's definitely an added perk. The scoreboard is awesome. Great improvement to the stadium, and I don't really watch it during the games. I'm more in tune to what he's saying over here. But yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, let's bring it over to Greg Simpson. Greg Simpson, the quarterback for the Sycamore Aviators, and Greg has got an offer from Western Michigan already. Again, over 3,000 yards of total offense last year, over 30 touchdowns. And Greg, our reigning Cincinnati Offensive Player of the Year for tristatefootball.com. And, you're talking about Barnhorst talking about listening to you in the huddle. What are you telling those guys? Because you're the first guy. I mean, what are you seeing back there that makes all those guys believe in you?
They just block. They block, and then I just hit the hole.
So for you, I mean, outstanding year as a quarterback last year. Now you've got to look at offers. Western Michigan's the first team that came in and offered you. But what are they telling you that you need to do? Where do they want you to play at the next level?
Most teams are looking at me to play running back.
And, I mean, have you heard anything else from any other schools? Your family. Last year I saw your family. They've been very supportive. Talk about your family and the role they played in your development.
They played a big role. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be as good as a player as I am today.
Sounds good. We're going to move down to the defensive side of the football, all the way down to the quarter, and Mr. Richter down there. And if I'm not mistaken, you had a brother that played here before you at Sycamore. Am I correct?
No.
Oh, no, you did not. Okay. So last year you played a bit of defense, but talk about your role on the defensive side of the football and what you guys like, because obviously the offensive line looks very strong, but talk about the guys in the front seven for your defense at the Aviators.
Well, our front seven is always strong. We always have a lot of strength and a lot of talent on our front seven. Like this year, our defensive line is humongous, probably the biggest it's been the last couple of years. And we always know we got backup with our linebackers. Tanashi's a rock solid player.
I'm going to mention one thing to you: 3 and outs. How important is that? I mean, last year, you guys have had good special teams kickers, whether it be Sam Cudgeon last year, and you've had some good punters in the past. But 3 and outs, how important is that for that defense in the GMC?
Well, when we get a 3 and out, which we had a lot last.
Next year, he's verbally committed there, and I got to ask you, why Duke?
Well, like, I looked at all the schools that offered me, and I thought, like, if I didn't have football, would my parents be able to pay for me to go there, or would I make it there academically? Then there were yes to most of them, but Duke wasn't. So I was like, I may never get this chance again. Why not take it?
Absolutely. And when you talk about a great place to go, and you talk about family, there must have been something when you saw that place that said, yeah, this is it. What was it that turned you on?
Well, like, before I went to visit Duke, I was like a big Iowa guy. I was going to commit to Iowa. But like when I visited Duke, I loved the campus and like just everything about it. I come from Africa, so like it was warm, so I loved the heat too. So I was like, this is just like home.
Well, when did you come here to the United States?
When I was 7.
And did you come here to Cincinnati?
Yeah.
And so for you, did you ever, I mean, obviously in Africa, football's not a big, football's different. It's soccer there. So what was your difference? I mean, getting into high school football, I mean, what turned you on to this sport?
I watched The Waterboy.
So looking forward, when you tell young people that may even come from your country, what would you tell them about high school football instead of soccer and why they should be loving a sport like this?
It can change your life. It can get you to college for free. That's like, and like you get bonds with everyone on the team. It's just like, nothing compares to football.
The Big Bear, he's talking about, I want to ask you one question before you go. Playing for this guy. You're a 4-year letterman coming into this year. You will be a 4-year letterman. Talk about playing for Coach Scott Dattilo.
It was a great experience. He pushed me really hard. He's a great coach.
All right, one last question for you, Coach. This season, high school football Division I goes to 2 divisions. We call it the Super 72. Basically divided from north to south. And the Columbus schools are now included with the Cincinnati and Dayton schools. 16 opportunities out of 27 instead of 8 out of 37 to make the playoffs. How does that make you feel? And, you know, looking at that Super 72, are you happy with the way it's laid out?
I think it's going to be interesting. Am I happy about it? Honestly, I don't care too much, to be perfectly honest. I mean, we're still going to have to compete 4 points the same way against the same type of teams, one within our league. I mean, in that 8-team group, we've had 3 or 4 teams just from our league make it. So that's a challenge enough, but then you throw in the Dayton schools, Centerville, Lane, Northmont, the usuals there, Brigham, you know, Hilliard-Davidson, Darby, and all those schools from up north. I mean, I don't know how it'll be different other than what you just laid out, the mathematical probability of the 16 out of 72 versus 8 out of 37. So at the end of the day, you gotta win games, and that's all we're really concerned about.
You're a veteran coach in this league, the GMC. When you look at all the coaches, and I've been around for 9 years now, the coaching in this league is just unbelievable. I mean, Chad Murphy's now going to be at Hamilton. He was at Northwest, took that program to the next level. You talk about Troy from Winton Woods with a state championship ring, now in his 3rd year over at Middletown. Talk about the coaching in this league, because it really is pretty impressive on Friday night.
Well, what I think is most impressive is, you know, there's obviously a lot of talent. The raw talent in our league is exceptional. I mean, you look at the college signings year after year after year after year, and there's just a slew of big-time signees from our 10-team conference. But I think what's special about the coaching, to answer your question, is what everybody does with that talent. In our league, they're great programs. They're not just great teams that show up on Friday night to play football. You look at the guys, from the three schools represented, you can tell they've been in the weight room working hard. Or, they look like college players or college to be players. And I think that's a sign of programs, not just a sign of teams that show up on Friday night. And we got a lot of that in our league, and that's what makes it such a unique league and such a competitive league.
Yeah, and I don't blame you one bit for being a little bit worried every Friday night when you go out to the GMC, because you're right. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You're going to get a good game, whether it be Fairfield, your old school, or whether it be Princeton, or whether it be Colerain on a Friday night. It's fantastic football. And guys, we should give everybody a hand up here on stage. These are the Sycamore Aviators. They're en route to another good year. So let's give them all a big round of applause. We'll bring up the Mason Comets here in just a minute. I'm Greg Shoemaker for Tri-State Football.